All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome into today's edition of In the Game. I am your host, Hustle, and as always, we're going to be diving into the Web3 gaming landscape. And I'm joined today by a project that has really, I would say, made some waves over the last few months with their game league, which is going on right now. $1 million in prizes. I will be joined by 𝗪𝗁 from 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗔𝗐. We're going to dive into the ecosystem. We're going to chat why Web3 gaming is exploding at this moment in time, and just why it is leading the market, and then some ways that you can get involved in the game league and with what 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗔𝗐 is doing. So without further ado, let's get in the game. And as always, guys, like the video and subscribe to the channel down below. We are live on In the Game, and this is the Web3 Gaming, the crypto gaming channel that we will be live on moving forward. And shout out to 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗔𝗐. They are the sponsor of this video, and we're going to go ahead and bring on 𝗪𝗁. How are you today?
Great. Thank you, Hustle, for the invitation introduction, and good to speak again. You know, been a while, but it's always a pleasure.
Yeah, every time we catch up on or off air, it's usually very, very good conversations. So we'll go ahead and dive into this. I'll let you kind of just introduce Owned. I know y'all been working a lot on this platform over the last, I would say year. I don't know exactly when this kind of conceptually came up, but at least I feel like a year that you guys started whispering about this privately. So what is Owned for someone who might not be aware of it?
Yeah, as you saw in the space, there was all these, discovery platforms, and yeah, so everybody tried the questing tools and so on. Everybody have tried to get something in the market, out in the bear market, get his, his presence, building out that, and we wanted to not be a game discovery platform. We are very good in user acquisition. This is where we are strong at, and we believe that as you look, you need to look at the Web2 gaming space. If you look at Twitch, there is a lot of things happening. These people, they are actually promoting gaming, right? And this is Web2. So working with the best, or with the most best, largest Web3 creators, but also now Owned, we basically onboarding a lot of Web2 creators into our as an owned creator, yeah. And I would say it's kind of a agency type model for Web3, Web2 gaming, because we believe that at the end, at some point in time, we will play games, right? And some games, they have digital assets, some they have just in-game assets, So we don't really know, but we want to combine these two worlds now and early. And you're right, we worked on this a while ago, and we were thinking what we can do in the bear market, when there was really everybody's sit down and trying to get through that. Some people are crying, all these memes, before and after, and and we said, okay, look, this is a good time, because there's so many people that try to get they want to cooperate, and they want to in Web3 to basically get be part of something. And we are good in organizing. We have some background, we have a large team, all the creators, name it, 𝗪𝗁 Spike, there's a bunch of other creators, 𝗖𝗫 Gaming, and Matt, Ryan. So they're all there, and basically helped out and really formed this nice game league that is basically is not owned as a platform, right? Game league is the event what we created. And think about it, we put 15 games, playable games together, Web2 games, Web3 games, plus 80 game partners. They're contributing with quests and loot boxes and their tournaments. It's really it's a mammoth project, but we said this can put us into a spotlight, where we're strong at, and I think this is something also we had a good timing, I would say. This was right in when the green candles show up on the gaming side, and then we have our game league coming to basically open up for Owned. Yeah, so short, basically Owned is kind of a the agency, I would say, but for we are helping really creating tools, integrating in the platform, trying getting metrics out there from the creators, what they can basically use to, and what we can also use with games, the games they have actually like can really say, hey, look, there's the best value in the market, like for my user acquisition cost and stuff like that. So this is something really leaning into owned and Game League. And then we have an awesome partners like Shrapnel, for example, is one of the main, unfortunately not yet playable. We would love to play with them, and open up the tournament, but it's just like there's so many games we wanted to add, but it's like, at the moment the time is these games are available, and for the season 1 we will definitely have a different bunch of games, so.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love the ideology, because right now we don't have the 25, 30 different games like that we can play, stream on Twitch and all this stuff. So the hybrid between the Web 2 games that traditional gamers still, enjoy and love every single day. But then on top of that, some of the good Web 3 experiences that we do have playable, I think it's a really good mixture there. And I think the content side is going to be so huge. And like you said, at one point, we just didn't have that in the industry. And I think this kind of incentivizes Web 2 players to get involved, but also more Web 3 gameplay content, which is very important for the long-term health of the industry. Because if everyone's here to just make money and extract from ecosystems, it's not going to go as far as we all want it to, right? So it has to be a give and take, and there always will be investors, but there has to be gamers that truly enjoy these experiences. So I love that Owns kind of like positioning up for that. What are, obviously we're looking at some of them here. What are some of the other names maybe? So there's Parallel, there's Shrapnel. What are the games for Web3 that are involved in the Games League?
Yeah, so actually right now we're finishing off Metalcore, and it's really interesting to see, like participation. Like we had 1,500 players playing Metalcore on the tournament. This is like, I think, a massive move, like for a tournament. And the prices are real. I mean, like you can, it's based on skill, that's all what you bring to the table. And of course, there's like classics like Fortnite, what we wanted to add, and of course a mobile game. But we have Universal, Magicraft. There's so many. There's more. I don't know if you have logged in, but there's like the whole tournament plan. I have it not in mind, but on the top you see Fakana. There was Spider Tanks. We had huge thing. The second game in line with Gala Games, that was a big success. So there's a lot of games, and we had we made that mix because we wanted to, have the audience come through more on the Web 2 game side, and then they actually can play Web 3 games and just look what's happening actually, that they don't, that they get a little bit like this thinking about like an XE game or like a stupid, like whatever, like a DeFi game. And then basically getting them into a little bit excited about these games. And for us, there's one important point what we did, and it was we made the whole thing free. And that was a big thing because like, and we've been already planning the whole game league when we saw the Creator League was a huge disaster, like when they basically was hiding the blockchain aspect from the creators, and then it was like they basically shut down. So we said like, and I know you mentioned it also in some of your shows, so basically like, people hate this, like think you call it stigma, this what is it, NFT or whatever, like it's just like something bad. And then we said, okay, then of course we get that feedback, so we make it free. So hate on free stuff, like what do you want to do? Nobody is asking money here, so we just give away. So that was a big point from us. And I think a lot of people like it, and for sure people will talk about it, and whatever. Some people still hate NFTs, whatever. Yeah, but we cannot change that, and I think there will be a few games, hopefully convincing also these people, that this is not a bad.
Right now, I think that, like you said, the stigma around it is just, NFTs, and they remember the last cycle. They remember these games that had NFTs that all kind of maybe went close to zero, not all to zero, but from all-time highs down to what we saw some of these games, some of them completely, collapsed. So I understand the stigma from the front-facing view, but whenever you dig into it, it's nothing different than a skin that you own in your inventory. So I think we understand that, but it's more about getting the messaging out there. And I do feel like Owned is doing a good job of of kind of pushing that messaging that it's just gaming and it's just assets that you have, you can govern over what you do with it.
Yeah. And I think it's also the like, not only that the NFTs you've been in the first cycle was like overpriced, like it's not for retail. I mean, like think about someone who's barely maybe buying a ultimate edition or collector's edition for $90, and then you ask him for buying a piece of land for 1 Ethereum, what is like whatever at that time was $3,000-4,000. And in addition, I think like then, because like in the same time, you remember there was like all these stars like Paris Hilton, Justin Bieber, they bought the apes, so then you see a fucking monkey picture going out for $500,000 and this is an NFT, it's like, and then getting into the game NFT. So I understand why people, just back off with these things. And there was also no custodial wallets really yet by that time. There was MetaMask was a big barrier, or let's say the non-custodial wallet. So, but luckily we did a big learning in 2022 and 23, and I'm very excited for 2024. Because there's so many titles in front of the door, to be released. Really like good titles, and as we know, good games need some time. So yeah, be patient, and then everybody who believes it now will be rewarded.
Yeah. That's a perfect segue into my next question that I had for you. Before we maybe dive into exactly how Game League works and then some of the things that go along with it and how the audience can get involved as well. First of all, why do you think gaming is leading this upcharge in the market right now? Like we see gaming tokens completely flying at this moment in time. And there's other sectors, specific altcoins that do this or that. But like the entire gaming landscape right now has been seeing nothing but green for what feels like the last, 45 to 60 days at this point. So why do you think the gaming side of it, the gaming sector, is leading this charge in the crypto market as in general?
Yeah, I think if you see like, people who's like looking on a little bit macro side of it, like how much money is still floating in, even in a bear market, into gaming projects. So there's like there's a huge demand, and there's like a new monetization way could be open with NFTs, with skin, with ownership. But I think it's like also for maybe traditional VCs or VCs in general, like it's easier to understand, and not only for the user also, but also for people who are throwing, let's say, money on new projects, that a game, you have a skin, the skin can be sold and bought, and so there's like it's a very simple, let's say, recipe, or you don't need to like maybe even your son is playing Fortnite and that this is a digital asset, you pay these V-Bucks for your son or whatever, and now you have that basically connected with tied into ownership. So I think the understanding is one catalyst for this, but also that I think everybody can see that there is the big opportunity, because like gamers in general, they're collecting, like myself, you included, we collecting assets since decades. We're grinding for digital assets. So, and this is and they are not in our possession basically. So, and this is, I think, is like where a lot of people and companies, and how much money like this I see every week, new funding, 20 million here, 10 million here, it's like an ongoing thing. And if you just zoom out a bit, how many games will come up, and look at the gaming chart right now, what you have, how many projects, it's a handful. But if you think just on 𝗫𝗫𝗄𝗃, I think they have like 280 games. This is more than like almost the whole gaming sector is in CoinGecko. There's more, of course, but you know what I mean. It's like, so yeah, that's why I think like gaming is where, because you also need user, right? Decentralized finance might be not for 6 billion user or 5 billion. Exactly. But gaming is easy. You can catch really everyone. More on mobile, maybe some on PC, it depends on the region. But that's, I think, where it becomes very, very interesting. Yeah.
Absolutely agree with that last part specifically too, because when you look at the gaming space right now, that's the one sector in crypto that can make the most sense. The yield farming, liquidity pools, DEXs, AI tokens aren't really there yet.
Whatever. There's so many.
there's hype narratives, but gaming is the one that, first of all, a kid can understand. Kids play games all the time. Someone like us can understand because we've gamed tons in our life and still jump into these experiences and collect these assets. And now we're able to trade them. But then also even parents, like parents that give their kids their credit card, like, yeah, go buy that Fortnite battle pass. Like they would also understand this, like, oh, if they ask their kids, wait, you can't do anything with that after you buy it. It just stays in your inventory and you can only use one skin at a time on your character. Like light bulbs go off, right? Whereas this other stuff gets a little complicated and in the weeds for people to be able to understand. So gaming, in my opinion, is the one landscape in crypto that people can jump into and immediately understand, as where everything else kind of involves this real deep dive. What is impermanent loss? No one wants to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Like what is the best AI tokens? There's only a couple that are actually doing good stuff so far because AI is so new. So like when you look at gaming, we've had 24 months of a bear market and all these projects that at the beginning were like, oh, all the people were like, oh, these games suck. Well, now we're 24 months later and it takes time to build games. And here we are and we have quality experiences on the way. In a non-biased way, what are some of the games you're most excited for?
Yeah, definitely Shrapnel. I mean, this is like, I think we had the show together. I remember like a while ago, like almost 1.5 years ago or something like that.
Yeah, long time
Shrapnel,
ago.
I mean, the team is awesome. I think they made a very good job to build community while they're building the game. And that was a very, very good move because not every game, this is very strong Web3 focused, you know, if you build community. Other than that, there's Gunzilla. What is for me, it's a it's a no-brainer. I was there like also almost like 1.5 years ago when they did the funding. I was able to see some game footage by that time, you know, and seeing that game footage and now 1.5 years later, it's two different worlds, you know, and you see sometimes like they're very Web2. How there is approach super closed. You know, they're making the right moves. They play the Web2 playbook to release the game. I think they have contracts with some, you know, consoles already, and you know their first release, Dr. Disrespect and Clicks and whoever was there. Like, I mean, that's a huge opener, you know, like, and so they did well. And I mean, like, I need to say, like, I like shooters, so that's why it's like more.
Same here. No, I'm with you.
But there's Providence, then there is Pulsar is interesting, you know. There's more title. I mean, like, there is a big time up for sure, you know, like if you a grinder, like, I was a World of Warcraft degen, I would say, like addicted like hell, also a part of my life. But I mean, there will be so beautiful games, I think, coming 2024 and 2025. And none of us heard about them because there's so many people. They don't necessarily need to, like. I think 𝗫𝗍𝒄 still was writing big checks, and there will be a lot released and in every genre. Yeah, there will be hopefully not too many card games anymore for now. Yeah, because we see a lot. But Parallel is awesome. Yeah, sorry, I
absolutely
slipped that. Metalcore, of course, we had it already. Not that they're because they're at Game League, but in general, like, you know, I think the space and is speaking for himself, like which games are quality and you know, standing out.
Yeah, the ones I'm looking forward to, I'd say on the AAA side, Off the Grid for sure from Gunzilla. I'm looking forward to Shrapnel. Illuvium's still really high on my list as far as sentiment and adoption goes. I do like what Star Atlas has done over the time. I think they've been dealt a bad hand sometimes, and maybe they also dealt themselves that hand with the expectations they set, but their recent game modes have looked very good. Then you can move in, like, that's like the AAA sector, but you can move. I think Wildcard looks fantastic. I think Big Time looks fantastic. Parallel's absolutely killing it. Then you go to the mobile side, and we have experiences like NFL Rivals, which, you know, it's kind of like a Trojan horse experience. You don't even know they're NFTs if you just play the game, but you know, if you dig into it, they actually are. And then you have stuff coming out like Heroes of Mavia. I've been excited about that one for quite a while.
I love their ecosystem, like how they build it out, and they've been approved even from app stores. You know, like Apple with their models. So this is like a big win, also. You know, like, so they don't have the conflict there. Yeah, but yeah, no, there's so many. Like
Exactly.
seriously, like I have an Excel sheet with 800 games. You know, it's like so it's like yeah, very excited there.
I think the one thing that's really cool, and we'll move on to maybe a little bit of how the games league exactly works, and then so how people can jump into it. So
yeah, sure.
the one thing I'll say is when you look at the entire landscape of games, I think the one problem that we have in the space is not enough players. So like what I mean by that is Parallel got hot, and every Web3 player is playing Parallel, but then Big Time got hot. And a lot of those migrate over here. Now, I think over time, there will be sticky player bases in these games. And there are. People are still playing Parallel. People are playing Big Time. But once this Shrapnel early access goes live, some of the people are going to uproot from those ecosystems and go try it out. So I feel like what we've had this problem of in the Web3 gaming industry is the hopping player bases. Like this player base goes to this game and then et cetera. So it becomes this kind of like a cannibalizing ecosystem where no game is we've seen Pixels have a lot of growth, for example, on the Ronin chain, but like a lot of games recently and just over the time in Web3 have had that peak in users, and then there's that slow burn or even sometimes rapid burn to the downside. But with these experiences that are coming out, like a Shrapnel, like an Off the Grid, it might be more sustainable where more gamers actually come into this space and then find that niche and find that game, and they're sticky in that ecosystem. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I believe like what you mentioned is, I think I would say it's a kind of a bear market, and we don't have enough Web2 user coming into our little bubble where we've been, you know, like, and that's why we're circulating. Like, I mean, I was working with all the creators, you know, so they like we're talking about the same freaking games, I would say, like, you know, like there's like a few highlights, and we're shifting just like, okay, there's something, oh, they have something, oh, there's a free mint, and there's something, you know, like, so we're just hopping, as you said, from game to game. And there's no, like, on the one side, I think it's okay if you have early stage, if you build a community what is like carry you, you know, like like the OGs, you know, and I think especially in crypto, you have a nice way to incentivize them, you know, via NFTs and airdrops and stuff like that. So I think it's a cool feature for people who are early there. Yeah, but yeah, we need, again, what you said, like Gunzilla and Shrapnel and games and non-custodial wallets. So easy single sign-on wallets. What I mean, you know, like getting into the game, play it, and then you basically learn that, oh, this is a digital asset. There's a dollar sign on the side, and of course the gameplay itself will make it basically, yeah. Powerful. If it's a good shooter and you can team up, bro, then it's a no-brainer. Yeah, I mean, then it's growing itself. Yeah, and especially when they are listed on Epic. I mean, you know, this is one of the platforms I think they will have a huge impact on the Web3 gaming space, because, you know, it's a trusted source, right? And then if you and even I love what, for example, the launchers in the space did or doing, but you know, as a Web2 user, why should I trust the Web3 launcher? You know,
exactly.
I should trust the one I know, Epic, and you know, like it's fucking Fortnite and it's Epic Games, and you know, so I think Epic did really something very well there. So yeah, we hope, and I think there's like already 70 games on Epic Store, Web3. So it's huge, you know.
Yeah, I think at first, the first game, I think, if I remember correctly, and I might be wrong on this, but one of the first ones to be listed there was the Gala Games Grit, like the Western Battle Royale. They announced it in like their Malta Galaverse event.
On the conference. Yeah, you're right. That was the very first Grit. Yeah.
That's what I think, at least. And then I think over time, at that time, it was like, wow, like that's huge. Yeah. But now I almost think if you're going to break into the mainstream of gaming and try to break into that Web2 player base, it's more of an essential than it is like, oh, an added bonus, right? I think getting on Epic now, if you want your game to be legit and played by the broader player base of Web2, it almost has to be on Epic Games.
Yeah. At least to get that safety stamp, you know, like I would use Epic if I want to validate my game. For a Web2 user, it need to be like in Steam. Unfortunately, there's also games, but they have more like there's a need to be like a workaround. Hey, you can play, but you know, NFT stuff outside. You know, like outside of the game. So I think Epic is more open there, and I think we will see more of these platforms there open up for Web3. I mean, you cannot just deny progress. It's like you would say no to Bitcoin, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we've seen examples like Parallel, Epic Games, and Steam. So like there are games that are breaking through that barrier, and I think we're seeing it happen. And I see a chat that's interesting here. On Tuesday, Cody says, I hope this is true. I haven't even seen anything about this because honestly, I don't pay attention to the Web 2 side as much anymore. But Epic, or he says Tuesday is the GTA 6 trailer. Awfully convenient for our situation. So if a GTA 6 trailer comes out, maybe that even stirs up the gaming space even more. We've seen crazier things, so we'll see. So let's dive in.
Like our game league was freaking what the timing. OG Fortnite maps being back introduced. You know, like the player spike was crazy. Like we had such a run on our Fortnite map. I mean, actually, so this is like another fun fact, but fact like so they had a big update, and we had actually made a custom Fortnite map called Neo Tokyo. And it was like an 8 versus 8 battle, and yeah, it was so updated to that basically. Like we couldn't fix it until the game league started. So anyway, but they introduced OG map, so then we said like this is anyway a better play now, and everybody was playing. Like so much fun, you know. Like we made it more like a contest. There was so much cool content, the best kills, and we had so many giveaways, you know, for crazy kills, quad pictures, and everything was really nice there.
Yeah, for sure. And let's see what we can do trying to get the audience involved here. So like whenever you look at the games, like I'm pretty sure people can still register for this, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you can sign up. I mean, of course, we're finishing mid-December, you know, the game league. But yeah, go on own.gg. It's free. You sign up. You know, no need the wallet. You can add your wallet if you want. We don't need to but you don't need to necessarily have one. You get a free NFT. It's not yet revealed, but it's something cool. So we didn't want to just make a PFP. So we have something like high res. There's already some teaser about it on the website. So you get a free NFT, of course. This is like kind of our game pass, you know. And just by signing up, you already get a 𝗪𝗏 starter kit and a parallel starter kit. Starter pack. So, and then 𝗪𝗏, if you like, this is actually like what we really love the most is like you play one game, you even get the medium starter kit from 𝗪𝗏, and if you play and you win on the leaderboard, you get actually the heavy starter kit from 𝗪𝗏 just by participating in the game league. And we have like, I don't know, like with all our game partners, we have more than 1,000 or had like 3,000 quests you can do, and you can earn free stuff there. So there's like a lot of things to do. If you sign up now, you have for sure a few days stuff to do. We have Counter-Strike ongoing at the moment, Counter-Strike 2. There's like also still prize pools open, and we have like a few more highlights to release. We have actually a large acquisition. Some famous players, they joined on this CS2 side. So yeah.
I love it. And yeah, anyone who wants to sign up, hit the link down below. We do have a link in the description. If you want to sign up for the Games League, get that Game Pass, get some of those assets, maybe jump in and try to level up those things, because I think they're doing really cool things here, because the big thing that I love about this, 𝗪𝗀, is the prizes. So a lot of the prizes are comprised of assets in games, right? Is that a lot of the prizes. And then there are some, I believe, cash prizes, but for the most part, I think some of the prizes are the high valued gaming NFT stuff, which is also going to get ingrained in these players' minds, like of exactly what these things are. So this prize pool of $1 million, by the way, for anyone who didn't catch that at the very beginning, what is that exactly comprised of?
Yeah, so what we did, like we wanted to make the Web 2 games more, because this is what everybody used to play. There is a cash prize. For example, we had 15K on Fortnite. We had, I think, 7K on PUBG, and we had 16,000 on Metalcore, and we have Counter-Strike with, I think, $15,000. So we have a lot of cash prizes there. But I mean, it was kind of the plan was here. Not, of course, we could have for sure get more cash out, but it was like, hey, I'm playing a game maybe the first time, and then through the game league, I get a free NFT on that game. So it's like we want to make that kind of like a learning experience with some cool stuff, and then having that NFT for free, and it don't kill you, and you don't get scammed, you get something. So it's like we wanted to have like a cool experience, and that's why we mixed like competitive with quests. We have an awesome quest partner, 𝗫𝗏, like really managing like all these, like I think this is the biggest questing, and I think actually like we did the biggest Web3 tournament so far to date, plus we like how many games, quests, and all of them have been done. So that's why I'm very excited actually for season 1 already. Like then when we actually getting more into the details, all the learnings are managed.
Yeah, exactly. I love the concept. I love the execution. And how long is the game league going on for?
We started almost 3 weeks ago. Yeah. So it's like we set like a month full, like every day. We don't have every day more than 2 games at the same time because we didn't want to overload user. What we do, we have might be because we have such a good run on Counter-Strike 2, so we're extending more competitive plays, like by outside you still can because we have still time until we deliver all the loot boxes. This is a big a mammoth project in itself, just to get all the wallets and then all the games, all the assets with all these chains. You can imagine like how much headache we will have. But so there's time that people wait, and that's why we continue with a few games, to that people be still able to play and not just wait. And there's still like not yet Christmas, so so we have still something for the people.
Yeah, and when will the game league end?
Officially 8th of August. December.
Okay.
And then we actually wanted to launch our competitive tech. I mean, like what we have basically at, what is the next phase of owned, and like how we want to conquer Web3. But yeah, we moved it a little bit because we have so much things going on, and then now it's after everybody took a breath, because the team is like really crushing overtimes, for almost 6 weeks now, pre-tournament and now. So it's like, big shout out for my team. All the creators, everyone who was working on this is a big job, and everybody, all the games who contributed. There's like a nice behind the scenes, really, there's such a nice environment. Everybody's really excited to show off the game, and being basically like taking this tuxedo out, and basically being there. So it's a very, very nice experience.
Yeah, for sure. It's nice to see a lot of projects come together for a great initiative and put this type of a thing together. Lastly, I get asked about this occasionally in the chats, and it's good to obviously hear it straight from you. So obviously Owned has been very much in the spotlight in the gaming space over the last couple of months. And obviously on the Twitter, they can all see it's powered by 𝗂𝗎. Now, 𝗂𝗎 is kind of like, I would say it was the base whenever you guys kind of came to market. It was the guild. It was kind of like the play to earn. It was like a full-blown infrastructure project, though, because y'all had a lot of pillars inside of the project. How does the 𝗂𝗎 token maybe factor into the Owned ecosystem? I think that's something that a lot of people would have a question on as well.
𝗂𝗎 Gaming, you're right. It was the guild, and why we started like of a guild model, because we always been like user focused. So we wanted to be with the user, because that allow us to participate in more games and not being with one game only, right? So that was the approach. Of course, it was all based on a few games by that time, and it was I think it was just like as we spoke about unlimited supply tokens, who basically come in sustainable. So these guild models have been all a little bit like driven by maybe the wrong narrative by the time. And then we worked on Owned, and we wanted to build a cool platform where people actually can use and come to. And we could also call it 𝗂𝗎 Gaming, but I think this is not appealing for gamers, so we call it Owned. Everybody got owned once in his life, in the game. So 𝗂𝗎 will be rebranded. We gonna take a similar approach to 𝗪𝗁𝗀𝗘. I mean, they did that because they have the Beam blockchain, and it just makes sense. We don't go on subnet. We don't have any plans like that, but basically that will be a token for the platform itself, you know, and that users like, there's a lot of parts of it will be user incentives, you know, like for, you know, participating. But yeah, so there will be a lot going on with the token, with the, for now, the migration to AVAX. This is the first step in December. And then for the next year, we have also a full rebranding and migration. And then there will be a lot to tease there. But I'm gonna, maybe in January, we have another show, and then I can show you actually the product where we're super proud of. And that's really the killer, what we feel. Social fi focused Web3 as an add-on will be very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'm super excited for that. And I think people love to hear that, you know, the Unix token, the Unix platform is still fully in force, building in silence on that side, I would say at this moment in time. But with the success of Owned, I definitely would take a look into it at this point. That's what I would say there. So where can people find more about you, Owned? And obviously down in the description, you can sign up, guys, for the Game League and get some of those assets. But what's the best way to jump into the action?
Yeah, I would say stick on Owned on the Twitter. I mean, there's like usually like we and follow our creators. You know, if you want to know about the latest games, updates, and so on, I think they have very entertaining content. Similar, a little bit like less analytic than with your content, but like very gaming focused. If you want to learn about a game and you don't want to play it really, watch one of our creators, for example. You can find them on the Owned platform, but also in our tweet, in our feed. I mean, yeah, Unix Gaming. Will be more updates about the tech what we will release. But in January, what I was saying. So I think if you're more on a like crypto native side, Web3 native side, then Unix Gaming, the Twitter will be rebranded as well. And if you really want to be more entertained and want to see what's the next game, latest review, and so on, then, you know, Owned is a good address. I'm more in the background. Yeah, you know, the creators are on the front, and then for you, I always come into the spotlight. But you know, like working hard and yeah, trying to make building something cool. As you also like ever since we know you grinding, working non-stop. You know, like. It's nice to see that in the bear market.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know we've been both, you know, whenever we've gotten together, whenever we've had calls, it's awesome to see how much both of us are building in the space. And it's paying off now because the market's ticking back up. And now everyone's getting ideas to put these things into play. But we've already kind of made the strides and executed on it. So it's great to see in that time. So 𝗫𝗀, thanks so much for hopping on the show. I think it was high value. People learned a lot, I think, about Owned and the Game League. Guys, sign up down below. $1 million in prizes. You sign up, you can get an extraction pack right off the jump. Definitely hit the link down below and sign up. And 𝗫𝗀, we'll have to do this again, especially once Unix kicks up those updates like you're mentioning. I'm excited now. It's a little bit of alpha.
I mean, we can maybe do something for a community. Super alpha, I can show some stuff. I didn't want to do it too much live because like, don't have everything yet together, but it's cool. So I would love to show you first, and yeah, let's stay in touch. And thank you for the time. And yeah, have great chats. Whenever you want something, you need something, let me know.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to connect regarding a couple things we're doing. So we'll put that together here in the coming weeks. But 𝗫𝗀, thanks so much for hopping on. I know it's busy right now with the Game League going on, so time is of the essence, and I appreciate you giving me a sliver of that time. So guys, like the video, subscribe, sign up to the $1 million Game League down below. Get some of those assets, compete, play some of these games. I promise you will not regret it. And we will be back. I have a show tomorrow. And then on Monday, we'll dive back into the markets. So I know everyone in the chat is asking about freaking tokens. And I get it. The market's going crazy. But we've been given lots of calls on the channel. I think you guys are eating pretty well right now. So we'll be back on Monday with more tokens. And then I have a show tomorrow, so you can check that out. Like, subscribe. We'll be back then. As always, play well, my friends.